Sometimes when I'm really fed up with British propaganda, because I can understand French, I listen to French propaganda instead. And it's really interesting to see that exactly the same thing happens in other countries too. This is the French equivalent of the BBC, transmitted at lunchtime on Monday. I've translated the clip and put the most important part of the translation in red, so I think it's probably best if you listen to it first, and then, perhaps we can talk about it afterwards.
Une première en 20 ans, le rétablissement de la frontière entre la France et l'Espagne. L'accord de libre circulation vient d'être suspendu jusqu'au 4 mai, et ce en raison de la tenue à Barcelone d'une réunion de la Banque centrale européenne. L'Espagne craint des manifestations violentes d'activistes. D'ailleurs, vous allez le voir, ce sont surtout des jeunes qui sont contrôlés. Anne Domy et Laura Lorgali.
C'est un temps que les jeunes de 20 ans ne peuvent pas connaître. Pour mémoire, la frontière espagnole avant l'accord de Schengen en 92, ça ressemblait à ça. Contrôle d'identité, fouille des véhicules, un peu impressionnant pour une première.
Très surpris, oui. C'est la première fois que je me fais fouiller comme ça à une frontière.
C'est impressionnant?
Assez, oui. Enfin, en tout cas, ils sont très professionnels, ils fouillent partout, de fond en comble. Donc c'est vrai que ça surprend.
Il n'y a plus qu'à prendre son mal en patience, car les contrôles ne font que commencer et ils sont très nombreux. La police espagnole a triplé ses effectifs. Elle est présente tout le long de la frontière.
Notre objectif principal, c'est de trouver des personnes susceptibles d'appartenir à ce que nous appelons des collectifs anti-système. Des personnes qui pourraient avoir participé à des manifestations ou qui pourraient avoir causé des troubles à l'ordre public ou encore qui auraient détruit du matériel urbain. C'est plutôt cela que nous cherchons.
À quelques kilomètres de là, les contrôles se suivent et se ressemblent. Les jeunes et les camionnettes n'y coupent que très rarement. Vous avez eu peur un peu?
Non. Non. Toujours un peu tendu quand on voit les policiers, mais après, un peu tendu parce qu'à la police toujours, mais bon, c'est normal quoi.
Il faut qu'on fasse attention, pour ramener trop d'alcool et de tabac.
A priori, c'est pas ce qu'ils cherchent. Ce serait plutôt des jeunes, plutôt des émeutiers.
Ah oui. Oh bah non, on est calme nous. On a peut-être l'air de voyous, mais on est calme.
I think it's worth looking at what the young Spanish policeman had to say. He says, our main objective is to find people who are likely to belong to what we call groups who are against the system. So he says, people who are just suspected of being against the system. That means that people like, for example, me, who put up videos on YouTube, who could be said to be against the system, could be targeted at some time in the future, if not now. So this is really dangerous, and people don't seem to be taking it seriously at all, and they should do. And then he goes on to say, people who may have taken part in demonstrations, may have. This is just incredible. Or who might have caused disturbances to public order. And the definition of disturbances to public order could be something like holding up a sign in a street. It's really quite difficult to tell. And these are supposed to be the freedom of movement, which is one of the principles of the European Union. You've got freedom of physical movement, which is travel, free movement of labour, and free movement of capital. And they don't mean anything at all if they can be revoked on the whim of some central bankers, as seems to have happened here, because all this is about is a meeting of central bankers, Central European bankers in Spain, and they're afraid of the demonstrations. If the banks are so hated by the people that the people have to be restricted to come into the country, then there is really something seriously wrong with the banking system, and that's what needs to be said. And the thing that was really worrying for me was the three sorry, that's my dog. The three sheep, I can only call them sheep, who seemed totally unconcerned about all this. I think they will be concerned if things turn nasty and they are affected themselves, but at the moment they don't seem to have any idea. Now, as I said at the beginning, this is propaganda. They've obviously selected these 3 interviews, because the people have been very casual and not at all worried about what's happening. There must have been lots of people who were angry and who were upset about the loss of liberties, unlike the last interview in which he was more upset about losing the right to bring tobacco across the border than about the loss of his liberties. But I think what's happening is happening the world over now. They talk in America about the fact that if you owe any tax to the IRS, which is the tax authority in the United States, you are prevented from travelling. You lose your right to travel. I think it's the 4th Amendment, I'm not quite sure. But, you know, this is going to be happening everywhere. It's also part of Agenda 21 that people should not have the right to travel, and I think they're going to be clamping down on travel for, you know, no reason at all. But they're particularly keen to stop anybody demonstrating. And this is your right to demonstrate. This is your freedom of speech we're talking about. We're not actually talking about anybody who's done anything wrong, simply people who have demonstrated, and yet people are not concerned about it, it seems. So I think only sheep now are allowed into Spain.